Hello and welcome. I'm having technical difficulties, so just give me 1 second. I gotta plug my headphone directly into my computer. This is crazy. What am I doing? Okay. Woo! All right, much better. Sorry about that. Hey, welcome to an episode of Real to Real Talk. I am your host, as always, Paul Britton. I am going to be here talking about movies. I'm doing movie reviews. Won't be too long. But we had two interesting movies come out this past weekend that I definitely wanted to hit on, and then there were 3 streamers, couple carryovers from a couple weeks ago, and then I got a new one from this week. So let's get rolling. We're going to start with the first, Omen. Okay, so as anybody, if you're a regular on the show, you know, I am all about the Exorcist. The Exorcist is my favorite horror movie, and devil horror, we'll just call it devil horror, is my favorite brand of horror flick. So Exorcist, the original Omen, the Omen sequels for the most part suck. The Exorcist sequels, Exorcist 3 is awesome, and then there was the Exorcist that came out last year that I really didn't care for at all. So the first Omen's coming out, and I'm like, oh boy, I really like the original. It's not, it like, this is the original, and like the Exorcist is up here, but that's still really good, and so I find myself looking at the first Omen and seeing the trailer, and I was intrigued, excited, and I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's see how this goes. And goddamn, it's a really good movie. Is it like amazing? No, it's not amazing, but there are things that are going on in this movie, and there's imagery in this movie that literally makes you think, holy Nikes, I did not think I would ever see that in a movie. I can't believe this is a rated R movie that got a theatrical release that's not like just on Hulu or something. Like, wow. So basically the story is very similar actually to Immaculate. An American nun finds her way to in this case, a hospital, an orphanage / hospital in Italy. And so the American nun has a questionable past. She was an orphan as well, and so she's being looked over by Bill Nighy, the who is who was her cardinal when she lived back in the United States, but now is eh, you know basically a very sympathetic character that we are forced to buy into, and it's like, okay, cool, let's buy into it. It's the early 70s in Italy. We get some fun like the nuns going out and partying and having a good time, and then lo and behold, we are wondering about did she have sex with it's there it's just nunsploitation that around the devil, and it's really, it's simple. God bless it for being simple. Like, it just really is. It really just sets out to tell the story of the origin of Damien. I mean, that's really, if you've ever seen the original Omen, Damien is not the child of the people that he lives with. I mean, he's an orphan who is given to an ambassador in the United States who loses his own child at this on that date, and on that same day. And so it's like, here, your wife doesn't even need to know that your kid died in childbirth. Take this one. and then it turns out to be the devil. And so this is the birth of that child, and it's really well done, and it's super creepy. This is not like jump scare madness, which I appreciate. I appreciate the not just constant jump scares and not just we're here to it sets a tone, and it just follows that tone throughout. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So here on Real to Real Talk, we do tacos instead of stars, and instead of giving a half star if we like something a little more, we get a guacamole because nobody eats a half a fucking taco. So I've actually struggled really I've really struggled with this one. I'm giving it 3.5. Or I just said I don't give half. I'm giving it 3 plus guac. And it's a really good 3 plus really good guac rather than like 4 tacos that are pretty good tacos. Like it just has its toe on that 4th taco, but instead of buying a taco, you just pay for the extra guac, and you're happy that you made that decision because these are 3 good tacos and delicious guac. Next movie we're going to look at is Monkey Man, directorial debut of Dev Patel, possibly on the short list of hottest dude in the world right now. So Monkey Man is a revenge story at the heart of it, and it's a little bit the first half of the movie is revenge story, going in alone. I'm going to do this and it's going to work for me, even though I don't really have that good of a plan and I'm a bit of an amateur. And then that's the first act. And then the second act is Rocky 3 training in not Rocky 3, Rocky 4, I apologize. Training in Russia. Whereas instead of training in Russia, he's training in a temple, and he's just getting schooled by the people that live in the temple on how to just be you and be true to yourself and stuff like that. And then he's ready to get his revenge. Again, just doesn't throw in like a super overarching love interest story. I mean, the place that he's trying to infiltrate is like we'll call it a Playboy club, like that's what it is. It's kind of like a Playboy club for like the rich and powerful in a made up country because they can't say it's India, even though everyone knows it's India. The problem is that there is a political figure who looks exactly like the current leader of India, Modi, and there's just no studio on the planet that would touch that. So they just went ahead. Dev Patel is clearly has some clear thoughts about Modi. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? Okay. Anyway, Monkey Man as just a revenge movie, because that's all it is. Really good revenge movie. It's Dev Patel, action star. I'm in 100%. Do it. Dev Patel, action movie director. I'm in 100%. Do it. There's a lot of symbolism that's based off of Indian both Hindu religious overtones, as well as I'm assuming a little bit of folklore as well. There are things mixed in, and I wish they went deeper. Like that's the only thing I would say. As much as I appreciate that they just picked a thing and did a thing and made the movie about a thing, I feel like the religious and folklore aspects of it tie in deeper, but we never get that. We never get a sense of that. And I to the extent that I kind of wish they had dropped it entirely. It works on a very limited basis, but it also is completely unnecessary. And honestly, if you are interested in that sort of thing, it ends up being a little underwhelming. So that's my only complaint. My only complaint is that it does feel like they were like, we got to get this down to 2 hours, and so they trimmed a little bit of backstory, which is okay. Look, they got to the kick-assery and it worked. Guess where? Okay, we're gonna rate it. Guess where I'm going again? Yeah, I'm doing 3 tacos plus guac. By the way, I nailed 2 movies last week, both Immaculate and Problemista with 3 tacos plus guac. So this is my go-to ranking right now, I guess, because people are making really good movies, not great movies. Really captivating movies that interest me that I definitely want to revisit, but not ones that I'm like, oh, I gotta see this again. But that's all right. So those were our 2 big releases. We've got 3 streamers, so we'll go through these quick. The first is Steve Martin, a documentary in 2. Oh, it should be 2 pieces, not 2 acts. I botched the title, everybody. Anyway, that's fine. It's Steve Martin, a documentary in 2 pieces. It's on Apple TV Plus right now. I'm just gonna say, if you're a fan of Steve Martin, this is 100% must viewing. I'm a huge fan. The 2 pieces, the first piece is Steve Martin stand up, fascinating, interesting stuff. The second part is Steve Martin, the man, as told through his movies, and uh, uh, equally fascinating and interesting stuff. A lot of Martin Short in the second act or in the second film, and that's super fun. Seeing Steve Martin and Martin Short interact, good times. I look, huge Steve Martin fan. Loved his stand up growing up. I give this full thing, but ultimately it's a 3 taco thing. Like it's not going to it didn't do anything as far as like revolutionize the form of documentaries or anything like that. It's just really interesting. And if you're not interested in Steve Martin, you can probably skip it. If you like Steve Martin, it's a must see. So I feel like that's 3 tacos. Next, Wages of Fear on Netflix is a French movie. It's a remake of a 1950s movie, which is based off of a book. And also dipped their hands in it was Robert Friedkin, who made The Exorcist, which I've referenced already, and won an Oscar as a director for Chinatown. And let me tell you something, people. Not Chinatown, shit. French Connection. I'm sorry. What am I doing? The movie that Friedkin made was 1977 called Sorcerer. It's available, I'm going to say, on Tubi, might be Pluto. Anyway, it's available for free. Just go rent 1977 Sorcerer, not rent. Go watch 1977 Sorcerer. That is the quick story is people need to get nitroglycerin to a oil cap to blow up the oil cap so that it'll stop spouting oil. It's on fire. There's nothing they can do. They have to, in order to close the cap, they have to blow it up. And the only way to blow it up is dropping nitroglycerin in there. And if the nitroglycerin moves at all, everything blows up. And so it's just 2 trucks on a slog going slowly. The original, the 50s version, the book, and the Friedkin version, Sorcerer, take place somewhere in Latin America. I believe the Friedkin one actually even comes out and says we're in Colombia or Venezuela, but I could be wrong about that. Venezuela. No, Colombia. I could be wrong about that. Neither here nor there. Point being, this version moves it to nondescript place having rebellion issues somewhere in the Middle East. Afghanistan-y kind of feel to it. And so the danger, look, this is fine. Go watch Sorcerer because it is so much more than fine. Sorcerer is just so gritty, so dirty, so 1970s. If you've watched any amount of 1970s movie, you know what I mean. So French Connection-y, so Exorcist-y. Just go fucking watch this Sorcerer. Wages of Fear. This is basically the third time it's being done. They should have stopped at two. Two tacos plus guac. It's fine. Sorcerer. All right, last movie, Scoop. Scoop is the story of Prince Andrew's downfall within the royal family as being a friend of uh uh, of the the guy who didn't kill himself. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sorry. The scumbag, pedo that would bring that that Clinton and Trump used to be able to have relations with young teenage girls. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein. But this isn't just the story about Epstein. It's not. And this is not just the story about Prince Andrew's involvement with Epstein. It's not. This is the story about Andrew doing an interview on a news show and how the news show managed to get Andrew to come on, and how Andrew just absolutely destroyed himself on film. And it's really interesting. This is this is a great this is a really good journalism movie along the lines of the Post or Zodiac or uh, uh oh, what was the one with the Hulk? Uh, um Pooh. Arr. I have Soundwave stuck in my head, and that's not it. It's the one where they expose look, if you like journalism movies, check this one out. It's British. It's on Netflix. It's called Scoop. It's worth 3 tacos. Check it out. Scoop. I recommend it. Look, 17 minutes. I did 5 movies. What do you want from me? Like, that's it. We're good. All 3 worth watching at some level, except Wages of Fear, which, I would only recommend after going to watch Sorcerer, the 1977 movie. All right, that's where we are, kids. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will catch you next week. We've got. I know there's at least one movie coming out that I'm going to go see. It's from a favorite director of the show. Hopefully, you'll come out and hear about that. Have a wonderful week. Bye, everybody.